About this is the Premier of Saskatchewan, Brad Wall. Mr. Premier, thank you for coming on. Does this news surprise you?
Hi, Jennifer. No, it doesn't. It's an interesting poll, and I think the results are pretty telling. I think the conclusions there are right. I mean, any jurisdiction, whether it's west or east or really anywhere in the world, when there's some economic success and people's prospects are good and wages are making some improvements, I think those people are going to be a little more optimistic. I think that's just natural. And we've had a lot of good fortune on the prairies here in Saskatchewan. That's certainly true. We're trying to keep it going and sustain some of the momentum, but we've seen some solid economic progress. Average weekly earnings are at a record high. There are job opportunities here. There are some challenges with growth around housing and infrastructure and other issues, but overall, I think people are pretty happy.
And so you mentioned the economics there, and clearly that's what they're attributing these results to. We're seeing a lot of resource-based industry coming to the forefront, and it's teeter-tottering. In Ontario, there's a loss of manufacturing. So the pendulum's swinging in your favor, it seems.
We're very fortunate. The world today, the fastest growing economies in the world want two things, I think, certainly at the top of their list: food security and energy security. And in Saskatchewan and in the West, and it's really a strength for the whole country, we have a lot of that to offer in terms of agricultural production and fertilizer and potash and energy and resources, and now increasingly a growing innovation economy built on that platform. So, Jennifer, I think that also makes people hopeful for the future. However, when there's any economy that's a little bit dependent on the resource sector and commodities, I think it's important that nobody spike any balls in the end zone, because things can cycle. They move up and down, and we're trying to diversify and make sure we can keep some of the momentum going in the long term. Sure.
Well, that's very pragmatic of you. So you're an optimistic pragmatist. But are Prairie people more optimistic by nature, Premier?
Well, I think historically the people that carved the West out of literally dirt and rock and bush had to be pretty optimistic when you hear the stories of our history and our pioneers. And if you're in agriculture, for example, you've got to be an optimist because of what you face in terms of weather, in terms of pests and world prices. So I think there are some natural tendencies towards optimism on the prairies, certainly. And you know what? If you're a Rider fan, you're absolutely optimistic, especially around this time of year heading into camp.
There you go. Are you hoping these results may entice more people to come to Saskatchewan, if not to move there permanently, but to visit?
Well, Jennifer, we'd like to have people move here permanently. Our population's growing like it never has before. We're trying to recruit people from other parts of the country. We're working hard with some positive results to close the gap between Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal unemployment. And, recently we were in Ireland. We were recruiting people from high-skilled laborers from Ireland to come and live in the province and take part in the Saskatchewan Advantage. There were 12,000 jobs available this morning on a website called saskjobs.ca. And in a province of 1 million plus people, that's not an insignificant number. So, we're always encouraging people to come for a long time or a short time, but preferably for a long time.
Brad Wall, the Premier of Saskatchewan, thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks, Jennifer. Take care.
You too.